3, 2, 1. Efe, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
Great. How does it feel to be the first in-person podcast on the Eskandy Sports podcast?
It feels great. It's a long time coming. I've done a lot of phone conversations and video stuff, like podcasts over the pandemic, but this is the first time in person, so it's a good feeling for sure.
Yeah, it took probably 30 minutes to set us all up right here. So Zoom's good
man.
for that.
Hey, man, it's all good. It's all good. The way it's all worth it.
So, Efe, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do for a job right now, and how's it going?
I kind of tell everyone the story how when I started off with NPH, I literally was going back to school. So Humber for sports management, funny enough, and I just volunteered at a CNIT, and I was there just working at sports table for like you've seen them, some of these tournaments get crazy. You have 16-hour days depending on when you start and whatever, and I just wouldn't leave a scores table. I was just in there, and I was a fan in there because I just love the game. I love being around it and stuff like that. So once you kind of get into that rhythm, you just you don't want to leave, you just want to just stay there. And I did that for the whole summer pretty much, and they kind of just kept me along. They're like, yo, this might be a guy, he's here for more than just wanting to volunteer. He kind of sees something else. So it's okay, let's give him a shot. So the next step kind of was the NPA. And I just started doing some stat stuff, keeping track of the leading scorers, rebounders, assist guys and stuff like that. That was my first time kind of building a little bit of a platform in a way. And then after that, I was kind of there for nationals. Right. And soon, after time, you start to meet certain players and certain coaches, and you shake hands and whatever, and it's just okay, just keep going with it or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm kind of in there, but I'm doing other things at the same time, school and working other jobs. But NPH was kind of just always there. And then the next season, I first time going on the road with the guys and whatever, and I started recording from the baseline. I started doing everything pretty much. Yeah. So after that, I started calling some of the games, and that was pretty cool as well, right? And the pandemic hit, and it was kind of just damn, what's gonna happen? There's no basketball. What are we really gonna do, right? Because at the end of the day, the media stuff is cool and connecting with certain people and stuff like that, but you need to have the games being played. You know what I mean? You got to be in the gyms at the end of the day, right?
So how long ago was the volunteering?
Bro, it was 2017, I want to say, 2018.
Okay, so it's a bit of a slow grind.
Slow grind. I've been behind the scenes, kind of doing a 1-2 helping out and stuff like that. But then pandemic hit, and then I just dove into it. I was just you know what, it's an opportunity to kind of just do something that I actually care about. Right. You know what I mean? And here we are.
And I should probably say we're at the playground right here now, Burlington Playground. Yeah. Closely associated with NPH. You guys have your office here. The office looks amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You can hear the basketball going on in the background. I know you can't. I don't know if you guys can hear from out there, but in headphones we can.
It's crazy. It's to have a space where you can literally walk right outside and see you guys playing. It doesn't get any better than that.
We got to get a shot of just all the. I think this camera here, it can show. It shows
it shows
is this alumni or?
Bro, this is the wall of Canadians. So all these guys up here have had a stint or two in the NBA, or you have guys who are still playing right now, currently, right? Obviously, Nikhil, Lou, Mulder with the Warriors, Ifeandu with the Cavs right now. But it's shot with the Clippers, and then Iggy, obviously, Halton region legend. You know what I mean? So no, it's dope, man. It's dope.
How is it just working in this environment? This is. If you've got a boxing ring next door as well. If I could put my brain into a building, this is what it looks like.
It's where we always talk about where the magic happens. It's a creative space where we kind of just get here and we just bounce ideas off each other. You know what I mean? And what's next, and what can we do to continue to lead and to separate ourselves? You know what I mean? As a Canadian basketball company. You know what I mean? We try to do it all, from events to media. It's everything. You know what I mean? So this is a great spot and location for us to just develop ideas, man, and game plan and then execute when it's time.
Absolutely. And speaking of Canadian basketball in general, the wall of alumni here, big U19 game just happened today. Canada USA. What'd you think of the game? What'd you think of Canada's tournament overall? Is there a bronze medal game? I think
there's a bronze medal game tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. What do I think? Wow. So
who surprised you?
Who surprised me? Okay. Zach Edey kind of surprised me. And it's like, it's right there in front of your face. Like, he's 7'4", you can't miss it. You know what I mean? So, but it's funny because there's always this thing where bigs start off slow or they develop kind of slow. But he looks way ahead of where I feel like most people thought.
Yeah.
And he's dominating. He's been their clear cut, I think, most impactful guy through the start to like the end.
Right.
Like hitting the offensive glass and getting like the easy putbacks and, forcing guys into foul trouble. I feel like we could have done more to even feed him, to be honest, in my estimation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he's averaging a double-double. He might lead the tournament in rebounding.
Yeah, for sure.
But, like, there's so much more that he could do. But, no, he's had a great tournament for sure.
Obviously, with Purdue, I think he played last year with Purdue, right?
Yep. As a freshman, yep. So he's going to his sophomore year. So he's going to get so much better out of this whole experience, If you're playing on a world stage against the top guys and you're eating, like, what that does for your confidence level is tremendous, right? So he's going to go in second year and he's going to do his thing.
How would you evaluate Elijah Fisher's tournament?
He's another one. Yo, Fisher is...
he's younger, obviously.
He's younger.
He's younger than these guys.
I thought he had a good tournament just off the fact that that was his first time being on that kind of stage. Yeah. No one's seen him, like, his first time playing Canada basketball, pretty much. But he was fearless. You know what I mean? And it wasn't due to like the offensive side. It was defensively. Like, he was getting in and he was just like he's getting in dudes. You know what I mean? And poking at them and just disrupting. You know what I mean? So I think he had a good tournament, I would say. Yeah, some of the box scores are a little underwhelming considering I feel like people not crown him too early. I think he's gonna be a special talent, but there's he's carrying a lot of weight right now. It's tough. When you have that kind of following and the media train behind you, you can kind of get lost in it. Right. Or you might not live up to it, you know. Exactly. But as a guy who's playing up in age, like, I think he did enough to show like he is that kind of dude. You know what I mean? And he's put in the work. Like, you can't question the work he's put in.
What about Caleb Houston?
Caleb, the box scores don't look friendly to him. I kind of laugh because he's taken every shot available to him. You know what I mean? And he came in as, like, I thought he'd be the top shooter on the team, which I still believe he is. I don't think the numbers necessarily, like, reflect his capability, but I can't hate the fact that he's kind of the alpha on the team, and he's taking that shot. Yeah. He's taking those shots. Like, I kind of appreciate that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's good for him long term as well to kind of get into that. That mindset of I'm the first option and I'm the guy who's going to score the ball and do all this other stuff. So I think from that standpoint, just like in terms of mindset and the alpha, like he's done a good job. The box scores don't look the greatest, but it kind of is what it is. You live with it.
Yeah, I thought he pressed it a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to claim to know Caleb Houston. I mean, I've only watched him a couple of times, but he was really, when I saw him, calm. He was just calm. Like, it wasn't today. Today was the first full game I watched of Canada, but today it looked like he was hooking up some shots that maybe didn't need to. It looked like he was kind of losing control a little bit, just from my, viewing of the game. I think
throughout the whole tournament, though, they didn't look the greatest offensively in, like, the half court. Yeah, they didn't look cohesive, and some of it is due to like these guys haven't played together. Like, a lot of these guys haven't. Sure. Obviously, Caleb and Ryan have because they play on Montverde or whatever, but haven't played together. They probably had like a short, like, 1 or 2 weeks to kind of get everything right before they headed to Lithuania. Right. Latvia. Yeah. But nah, man, they didn't look cohesive at all. But I appreciate that, like, their grind. Like, they're a gritty team. They're a tough team.
The effort was there, 100%.
You know what I mean? They have some dogs on there, so that definitely took them to where they got right now. You know what I mean? So can't really hit on that.
No, it's not. It's just like it's weird because I mean I think guys at that age are still trying to find their game. What are they going to do? And I think when they were looking at the Canadian roster, it might have been a little too early for Elijah to take the keys and be a number one option. So maybe Caleb took it.
Ryan, I like Ryan, man. He's a little pit bull, bro. He's steady. I think what we lacked though was another, like, playmaker. Like, another ball handler besides him. Because Ryan he's more aggressive trying to get his than kind of trying to, like, facilitate and do other things for different people. It's kind of what I took from the tournament. Although he can do it, but we didn't have that second guy. Like it was him and Kyle Duke at the point guard spot. Yeah. And Kyle didn't see minutes. No. You know what I mean? So after that, it's like, bro, like, what are we going to do? Like, Ben Maturin, we thought might be that guy, but he didn't necessarily.
Yeah, I thought he had a good game today, but it was.
He had a decent game today, but during I love Ben as a prospect.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the tournament for him was kind of underwhelming in a way.
Yeah.
Because his first year at Arizona, he did numbers. Like he had eyes. He had people watching her, and they're like, oh, like he might be like a draftable guy, like a mid late first kind of guy if he was to come out next year. Yeah. So to come in and not perform to what people thought, I thought it wasn't great for him. But it's like talent is still there. He can still put it together. You know what I mean? Yeah. Omax is another guy. Olivia Max's Prosper. I thought
Prosper was good.
Prosper is good. Yeah. He played his role really well. Yeah. He was just that long, athletic dude on the wing, like 6'8", just defend the 3-4s and do what he does, man. Like make the energy plays. Like there was a stint in the game where he kind of changed momentum.
Yeah, for sure.
Versus States, you know what I mean? And brought them back. So he's definitely, I could see where his stock is kind of like rise a little bit. And if he just improves on his jumper, he could be someone to kind of like look out for in terms of Canadians next year or so.
We had an Eskandy pod alumni on the team too, Nano Usu.
Nano Usu.
Yeah, Nano Usu.
I like him. I like him. You know what? I was having this conversation with Jason Tom, our guy director of recruiting at NPH.
That was the name I was trying to think of earlier.
Yeah, Jason Tom, man. That's the OG, man. Yeah. Jason's the OG. He's been around for a minute, but no, that's my guy. But so we're like, okay, who's gonna be that guy to kind of step in and earn like the minutes, like outside of the guys who are gonna do like the bunch of the scoring or the playmaking or whatever. Who's gonna come in and defend, make the hustle plays or whatever? And it's been him. Yeah, it's literally been him. Like the games versus Lithuania and Spain, he came in and he made the impact. Yeah, like to kind of get us over that hump. Like whether it's just cutting to the rim and being there as a finisher, or getting back on defense and blocking shots, or you know what I mean, taking the charges, getting on the ground, doing the hustle stuff. Right. So he's been that guy. So I've been really impressed with him. Yeah. I like what he's done in the tournament. He helped himself a lot.
Yeah, the regular offense today didn't really help his case. not for Nana. I mean for the team against the USA, because you could see every time he touched the ball, he kept it moving. It kept it moving. But then you get to another side of the court and it stops. And it's like, I think once he's at Brown and he's actually going an offense that's polished. The FIBA
game is so much different in college and so forth, right? It's a little bit different. But no, the USA game, like you could just see the lack of playmaking, man. Like the States were going in like 9-10 deep with guys who can do stuff.
That was amazing.
You know, he was amazing. He's tough, bro. He's tough, man.
Usually people are really, really highly clouded coming out of overtime or something like that. I kind of like, whatever. No, he's good.
He's tough.
He's really
good. You can't teach his size, bro, and he's shooting it like
hit deal. And he was willing to defer. Yes. Which for a person of that kind of magnitude, that's huge.
That's
my
huge.
opinion. Yeah.
It's a mindset thing. You know what I mean? Like for him to have all that talent, but be like, okay, I'm just gonna do my
right
part.
Plays over here, and I'm not in it. That's okay.
I'm not in it. That's okay. That's big.
That's
and
huge.
You could see the guys, they were empowered. You know what I mean? And other guys stepped up and they made plays. So no, you could just see the difference. Like we were only going 7-8 deep at most, and States just kept coming in waves. Kept coming in waves, man. And after after time, you get worn down. That's all it is.
There's a power forward on the States. The name is slipping me, but he was a big guy playing bully ball. He was a little.
I forget his name. So I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
How would you? I wish we knew his name. We're gonna when I figure it out, I'll put it in the video.
Shout out to him though.
He played really well.
He played really well. Yeah.
And he used his size. Mm-hmm. He's a bigger guy, but he used his size. How do you evaluate a player like that who's bullying right now? I'm sure coaching him, he needs to lose a little bit of weight, but he was using
that's what it is. That's what it is. He's gonna have to lose weight to kind of, and then he's undersized at the 4 spot as well. Those guys, he earns a living off of his motor. Mm-hmm. That's how you evaluate those guys, right? And there's always a place for guys who have that motor because they're gonna rebound. They're gonna come in and do everything to help win games. Now, long term, in terms of where you think they're gonna land, he will be
He's a pro. He's a pro.
He will be a pro. At what level is yet to be
for sure.
You know what I mean? Seen, but I like those guys. I want those guys on my team. I'll tell you that much. If you're gonna come in and you're gonna work hard, it's energy, and it spreads. You know what I mean? And other guys feed off of it.
But I had this thought about Zion a few years ago too, when he was kind of coming up through the draft as well. He's an anomaly because he's so big doing those things.
He's an anomaly, man.
So if he lost weight and he became a trim 225 or something like that, he's 6'7". He's like,
is he 6'7"? He might be like 6'5", bro, 6'6".
You think so? Yeah. He's not he's not a power forward center size traditionally.
No, traditionally
no,
not.
But like build, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like when he loses the weight, if he were to slim down, he's not an anomaly anymore. Do you think he still has the same sort of?
I think you can.
Gas?
He's that 1% of athlete,
right?
Where it's like it does not matter. Like he's gonna dunk over you as many times as possible. So yeah, but the weight does play a part into it, obviously, because man, if you're like 280. Yeah, 6'6", 280, and you're still jumping like that. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, but you can only
imagine. You're just born with that. That's a freak of nature, like anomaly, as you said. Yeah.
But it's probably not good for his body long term to be launch pad every play at that weight.
I definitely agree with that, but then it's like.
But it's fun to watch.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch, and it's like maybe he's that guy who breaks that mold. Right. Where long term they don't last, but he ends up being the guy that lasts. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. It's fun to watch right now. Yeah. I'll tell you that.
No, I enjoyed the FIBA experience and watching these guys play. But a big reason you're here, a big reason a lot of people want to talk to you is because you're a scout. Yeah. And we got a lot of high school kids that are going to listen to this. So, I mean, I don't want to say a lot, but a lot for me. Hey, man. But we're getting there.
Someone's always listening, man.
For sure. So just being a scout, getting in the gym, and evaluating talent. I guess the first question would be, what's the first thing you've kind of gravitated toward or saw when you've been getting in the gym?
Wow. That's a good question. Energy. Yeah. You kind of like, I feel like you know right away who's that guy. Like you can kind of tell in terms of the way they move, the way they walk, the way they engage with their teammates or with their coaches, like eye contact. There's things like you notice when you walk into the gym, right? Obviously, when you're in layup lines or whatever, like you see the guys, you know, jumping, dunking, doing whatever, but I think the other things like the communication, like if they're locked in, like you can see right away who's kind of who. So that's one thing I kind of look for, like in the gym itself. And then after that, it's a feel. Right. It's the awareness of time, like time and score, how they kind of galvanize their team. You know what I mean? If their team is in a drought, like, are they there, that kind of person to kind of pick them up out of it and stuff like that? Besides, obviously, the obvious skill level kind of things, you know, the guys who get buckets, the guys who rebound, you know, the guys who defend.
I want to cut you off there just for a second because I think it's worth noting that, you know, this isn't prepared or anything. The first two things you said had nothing to do with 6'7", 6'8", or can shoot. Bro, because these are things that anybody can do with work ethic.
Bro, this is anything you can control. Right. Because, when you get to the next level, everybody's the same height, weight, athleticism, depending on the level. You know what I mean? Whether you're high major, mid major, low major, you go to U Sports, you go to CCAA, JUCO, it doesn't matter. Everyone's around the same size, athleticism. Most guys can shoot it. But, like, the stuff that you can't control, like, that is super important. And it's what guys don't understand. Like, you're constantly being evaluated on stuff that's not basketball related all the time. Like when you're in practice, like guys want to see if you're locked in, like you're not like just kind of lost. Like you're doing every rep at the pace, like the in-game pace. You know what I mean? Or in-game speed. Like that's the kind of stuff that like we want to know, and when coaches ask, like they want to know as well. They want to know the person more than they want to know about the basketball player itself. Right.
Guys, we're doing all right.
Hey, we're doing all right.
Oh yeah, we're live again. If anyone knows.
No, all good.
So, but we were talking about the first things you kind of saw when you get to the gym, and kind of how the first couple you listed off, these were anybody can be. You know, anyone can be the hardest worker on the team if they just want to be the hardest worker.
100%.
So, but yeah, I want to start talking about the things kind of like almost off the court, and how do you evaluate sort of mentality and like, you know, where they're at mentally.
I find that a lot of it is built into their habits and routine, like what they do on a daily basis. Yeah. You know, there's certain guys are built with that kind of, they're self-motivated regardless anyways. But then a lot of other guys, they need that person around them who kind of provides that discipline, that routine for them to be successful. Yeah. There's no one right path. Everyone kind of gets to where they get to. Yeah. it's just the environment and who you're around and stuff like that, or just the way it is. But I find it's in the habits and routine for the most part. Right. But then you have guys who just like, they're just different. They're just kind of just, you know what I mean? Like, they don't care. Yeah. Like, they don't give a, you know what I mean? So, and it's like, I'm going to succeed regardless, and I don't fear anyone in front of me.
Right. Yeah, no. And have you seen anyone become a hard worker? Because I've really, at least in my experience, it's typically been one or another. Yeah. I know off the court, I've seen people become from couch potatoes to working hard, but I don't know if I've seen it on a court. Have you had any experience with people kind of?
Funny enough, so the guy I've had experience with, who's kind of like getting to that next level, is AJ Lawson.
Oh, wow.
So AJ, during this draft process, he's done some different things to kind of get himself ready for the G League elite camp and then the combine. Like, he's a talented dude, you know what I mean? And it's I think everyone kind of has their own thing that they kind of need in order to get themselves to that next level. So not even like basketball stuff, like things like meditating, things like writing down like goals and certain marks you want to hit when you get to these camps or you get to these workouts and things like that. Like, to just know them and be aware of them is super important. Like, self-awareness is another thing that's super important, man. Like, you need to be able to look at yourself and know your strengths and your weaknesses and then attack that. Yeah. Like, get out of this mentality where it's just like, yo, I feel like the way I am as a player, I can do whatever it is. Like, be coachable. Right. It's extremely important. You know what I mean?
No, it's just as soon as you said AJ Lawson, I just put out a video the other day about like guys I'm excited to go see in the summer league. Yeah. And AJ Lawson, I don't know where he's gonna get drafted, at what range, but he's probably gonna be someone that's gonna be there.
100%.
And he's just like if I could do two things, it'd be an unconscious 3-point shooter and 41-inch vertical.
Yo, AJ, you know what's crazy with AJ? So I watched every game of AJ's this college year, and then I watched it with him. Yeah. And
his team name is sus. Yo,
shout out South Carolina. I'm not gonna say shout out South Carolina.
Cool school.
Cool school.
Team name's whack. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it.
Shout out South Carolina. I'll say it like that.
The Gamecocks, right? That's what it's called.
The Gamecocks.
Revisit it. That's all I'm saying.
He was just, to me, he was just playing in a system where. Shout out coach too. Great coach.
Yeah. Good program.
Yeah. He was just playing in a system where I feel like he wasn't able to accentuate his strengths, man. Yeah. Like, get him running, get him in the open floor. Like it's not a mistake. He just happened to have a 41-inch vertical. Yeah. You know what I mean? But when you watch his game, it's like, yo, where was that?
Yeah, I know.
And that's what a lot of these talent evaluators and the scouts, the NBA guys are looking at. They're like, where has this been? But now they're like, their eyes are open now, and it's just like,
Same with Josh Primo.
Yo, Primo
was he the fourth guy on his team?
He was like fourth, fifth option. Yeah. Like, he did start. You know, some way through the season and stuff like that. But no, like, Primo's another guy. Like, age is definitely a factor because he's got that feel. And, like, in some ways, mentally, he's kind of already there in terms of just, like, he can hang with dudes. Yeah. But people thought he was just kind of like that 3 and D kind of guy. But now they're seeing he can do more with the ball. Right. And play make and create his own shot and do different things like that. So, no, it's crazy to see. It's so funny to see how like systems play so much into how guys are evaluated, which makes sense. But then how like outside of that, when they showcase themselves, their actual true ability and talent, then people are just like, oh, like I didn't know he could do that.
I didn't expect Primo to make the jump that he did. No chance that I thought that was going to happen. Do you think there's a lot more put into potential than what you're actually seeing on the court?
Potential is everything, man. How do you people love potential? They love that word.
Because there's going to be guys, okay, maybe 6'1", he's pretty maxed out, is how you know that, or 6 foot or whatever. Just a floor general, you know, like he just feels the game good, but he might be what he is at this point, which is a good player. But then you have the lanky guy, maybe has a good, you know, shot form. It's not hitting yet, but then you project. Like, how do you balance between the guy that he is hooping right now and the person that's like, well, we think he's going to be there in an X amount of years? I don't know if that question makes sense, but like,
it definitely makes sense because it's projection. Like sometimes people don't love the guys who are productive. Like they can be productive in in one setting, but if you take them out of that with the system that's behind them, can they still be the best player on the court or one of the best guys on the court?
Okay.
As opposed to a guy who has all the measurables from like height, weight, length, athleticism, but they're still kind of raw. And it's like, okay, like I might still take him over this guy because I know what I could do with him. Right. Maybe the right environment and the right team around him, the right coaches, we can kind of get him right. We can get him shooting better. We can get him ball handling better. We can get him defending better. So that's kind of how they see it. And then on top of that, with like the age thing, it's like the younger they are, like we get our hands on them like early enough, like we can mold them into the player we want them to be. Right. So I think that plays a huge factor into primo as well. So it's kind of how I see it.
Right. And just to jump backwards a little bit, we talked about the things that you the first couple of things that you see when you walk into a gym when you're talking about players and stuff like that. What are some of the underrated characteristics that kind of go into a player's makeup that you wish people maybe pay a little bit more attention to?
Ooh. So hit me with questions, bro. Yeah. Just hit me with questions, bro. Hey. Underrated characteristics.
Like, or maybe we can reword it. What's something rare that you've seen that you think more guys could adapt in their game but just don't for whatever reason?
I think it's the stuff you can't really coach, man. It's the feel. Yeah. But the feel could be anything. Like a person could be an excellent like a big man. Yeah. He can be so super like good in terms of boxing out and like rebounding. And he may get overlooked because he's not flashy or anything like that, but like the results are there. Right. Like he's just really good at that one particular thing. Yeah. Being good at one particular thing is super important. Right. Like I could work with that. To me as a coach, I could work with that. I could find a role for a guy like that.
Yeah, we were in the gym a little bit whenever that was, but and there's a kid you really liked the fact he was jumping out of the gym, he was blocking shots, he was dunking. But I know something that you tweeted about particularly was the fact that he was talking to his teammates, the chin up thing. The chin up. I think that was I don't know if we're allowed to talk about.
That's leadership. Leadership is that's another thing too. Leadership, man, it's huge. It's that's one of the biggest things like we kind of value here at NPH too, man. It's being selfless, man. Yeah. Like the we over me thing. Yeah. Because you can't win without the people around you. Right. As good as you are, you need guys around you to help empower you and help empower them. Yeah. And that's how you become successful. Have
you ever had a guy talk you out of a high praise? You just like, this kid is doing so well, he's hooping. And then maybe they start talking, or you see how, or you hear about how they talk to people, and you're like, you know what, that's a line too far.
I think that's a natural thing. I think it's a regular thing, to be honest, with some guys. Like they can be just so good, but then there's always the other stuff that comes with it. And you're just like, man, I wish he wasn't like A, B, or C.
Because part of your job is, to be credible. It's like you're gonna want to forward kids that are gonna, the coaches that end up picking them up are gonna be happy with. Yeah. So you keep. Yeah, these kids are good, but everyone's so toxic that it goes to the next level. Maybe
that's why you gotta communicate, man. Yeah, you have to communicate, and I think that's one of the biggest things for players, man. So you gotta if you're not a great communicator, like you gotta learn to be. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like when people reach out to you, when they want to talk to you, when kind of get a feel of you as a person and stuff like that. Like, I understand in some cases like building trust and so forth, but like it's just a regular life skill that you need in general anyways. You know what I mean? Like being a good communicator is so essential. It's so important. Right. So I think that's one thing I've found out a lot. Like a lot of these guys are not great communicators whatsoever.
How much is just being a kid? Like how do you filter out, they're young?
Some of it is, yeah, I'd say a large portion of it is just being a kid. Right.
So you have to project that too. But okay,
you gotta project that too. But then I mean, again, like it goes back to you evaluate everything. Right. You know what I mean? Like like some guys might be more mature in that aspect than others. Some guys might be more extroverted, off the court and on the court. Right. And you have my introverted guys, who don't really talk too much to people, maybe outside of their circle, or they're kind of quiet and stuff like that, and they kind of just do their thing, and that's it. Yeah. So it just depends on how you weigh it, and then you kind of go from there.
We're in the GTA, we're Halton area. Lots of new prep schools are starting to pop up. Yeah. And I wanted to know kind of your feelings towards that, because obviously more prep schools is a good thing. Is there anything that you're worried about with this, or is this all good across the board?
I think it's a lot at once can water down stuff.
That's what I thought too.
I think it's just realistic.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm glad people are trying to provide platforms for guys to hoop.
Yeah.
To grow the game.
Yeah.
I'm okay with anything that's growing the game.
Yeah.
And seeing it move forward.
Right.
That's kind of how I feel about it. But then also it's there's so many guys.
Yeah.
Like there's so much talent that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay, like you could be wherever it is and someone is able to give you that shot to play.
Right.
And you can kind of get that exposure from somebody. Like I'm all for it.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of how I see it at the end of the day.
Right. Because like if you're there's kind of two questions I want to get at. The first one being, if you're the best player on the last place team, is that way, or do you have to be so much better?
That still means something. It still means something.
Okay.
Like, okay, you're not winning.
Right.
Okay, what level are you? Like, you could be the best player on a losing team and averaging 25, 30, but there's still a fit for you somewhere.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's not the end of your basketball journey.
Yeah.
Like, you can still play somewhere. You know, and I think that matters. Resume still matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's just so interesting because like there's going to be, like you said, a watered down effect at some point because eventually prep's going to if not replace high school, it's just to make high school more obsolete. Although I did hear that there was a kid from where is it? I don't know, somewhere, but finally someone from high school going to youth sports that was actually pretty highly recruited and that they're excited about over at Queens.
We gotta show more love to youth sports, man.
Yeah.
These guys can hoop, man. We gotta stop. We gotta get this mindset out, like Canadian schools. Like, who cares? Like,
no, youth sports is cool. I'm just happy that someone from high school got a second year without having to go to prep school, because prep schools are cool and all to me. Like they're necessary. I don't think everyone needs to be.
Not everyone's that level. Not everyone's at level, and not everyone like.
I don't think everyone has to put all their eggs into school as well.
Exactly.
I think it's okay to focus on basketball a little bit, and the main thing is, what if you get injured? Well, but
it's just plan at the end of the day. Prep might not be for everyone.
Right.
Like, it's just what it is.
I just don't want to price out hoopers. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's kind of where I'm at.
That's the problem. That's the problem. No, I agree with that 100% for sure. Yeah. So it's on us as a community to kind of figure that out. Yeah. That's how I see it.
But more basketball here is better.
The more basketball here, the better. The more basketball here, the better. That's how I see it too.
Yeah. Man. That gets me worked up though, because I know some of these schools, it can get up to $25,000 for prep school, and
it's tough.
And the best kids aren't paying, so there's gonna be.
You know what I mean? A lot of the best kids, like the inner city guys and so forth from the rough areas, like it's just fact. Like some guys don't have the money. Yeah. You know what I mean? To play at that kind of level and showcase themselves, right? We just got to do a better job being more inclusive. You know what I mean? And not pricing these guys out. And
do you schedule OFSA in your calendar?
We just do what we do.
You're everywhere.
We just do what we do. No, but like as a company, we just do what we do. But for myself, like I want to get out to as many events as possible. Like if there's basketball being played, like I want to be there to watch and see who's next and see who's doing who. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because some guys, like, it's not just all about the D1 guys, the high major guys and the mid majors and stuff like that. Like we pride ourselves on finding the gems, the guys who have been looked over and stuff like that. And there's something there. They just need the extra push to help them further whatever it is they want to do in the sport.
Right. Yeah, we had an Instagram question. We had a few, but the one that immediately top of my mind is, it was worded funny, it was spelled wrong, but they're talking about the importance of genes. Yeah. How heavily do you weigh the genes as in GENES, not JENES, but
how heavily do I weigh it?
Like it
matters in the equation.
It matters, but you can overcome it.
100%, because everyone's story is different. Yeah. Not everyone's born into a basketball family. Not everyone's born into a family that had like professional soccer players. Right. And they have the perspective and the education on how a pro should approach. Right. Like their everyday routine or habits and stuff like that. Not everyone has that. Right. But again, that might not just be your story. Yeah. It doesn't mean you can't beat those odds. Like everybody's different, So it does matter. I wouldn't say like it's the end all be all.
Right.
Like you still can't play at a high level because my dad didn't play wherever it was.
Right.
Like no, like you can't think of it like that. Like still, the information's out there too.
Yeah.
Like we live in a world where there's plenty of information you can get out there to learn and write down how to move like a pro before you become a pro as well. So, bro, you just gotta open yourself up to more education. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone in Summer League that you're excited about?
Summer League.
Yeah.
Canadians, man. I want to see the Canadians. Obviously, Duarte, Primo, AJ, Eugene.
Yeah.
Some other dudes I'm kind of excited to see.
Have you heard about this Banton guy?
Delano Banton, another guy too, another Canadian.
He swept like right under my radar. I missed him.
So Delano, he's got that new prototype.
So just
that 6'8", 6'9" like point guard.
Yeah.
So it's very intriguing.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of still like skinny-ish. But I mean, again, like you're projecting.
The shot, right?
You're projecting, right? And he needs to work on his jumper, but you're projecting, like long term. Like if I have a guy who's 6'8", 6'9", and has those guard skills, I want that on my team.
Right.
It's just the length. It's like you can do more on the court.
Do you think he felt pressured to be? I don't know him at all, but like he is tall and able to handle the ball, right? But you think? I feel like putting a point guard label on him, it does a lot for kind of a stock because he's a big guard.
Yeah.
You know, big guards are in right now.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like 25% from three. I was doing research on the.
You gotta be able to shoot, bro.
Yeah, 25% from three.
Shooting is
65 from the line, which is like not even that terrible. But for like a power forward that can't shoot, you know what I mean? That's an okay free throw for a power forward that's like known not to be a great shooter.
Yeah.
What's wrong with him just being a 4? You know.
Size.
Took a little break there, but we were talking about Delano Banton, 6'9" point guard. I was kind of coming from the spot, like, I don't know if the point guard rep, I mean, it must help him more than it hurts him.
100% helps him.
Yeah, it's just because when you see the shooting splits, though, it's just like, ugh.
It's tough. No, and you got to be able to shoot it.
Right.
Like, as you see now with guys who get to the next level, shooting is the most valuable skill you can have, right? But you can't teach a guy who's 6'8", 6'9", and can be a ball handler like that. Like, not a lot of guys have that ability at the end of the day. So I get what you're saying too. Like, but the game is positionless now.
For sure.
You know, he could be a 3, but still be a capable ball handler and do different things. Now, does he need to improve his shot still? 100%.
1,000%. Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. And that's one more thing I wanted to kind of pick your brain on. Because of all the characteristics, like hard work, it's foundational. You need to be able to work hard.
Yeah.
You know, passing. But like, I feel like shooting is the one thing that you can kind of come back from. There's a lot of guys that have become better shooters, even good shooters, or from bad shooters to great shooters. So when you're scouting, like obviously
you gotta shoot, bro.
You know, you gotta be able to shoot. But like, but is there not room for that kind of like? That space where, you know, guys have become good shooters over time?
No, definitely, because it's something you can improve upon. Like, I mean, if it's a guy who
does other things really well,
right? And
for sure,
is like
if
in a way can't miss. Like they have the pedigree, you know what I mean? Like good leadership type skills and stuff like that. They have like the environment, like good background, pretty much good resume behind them. Yeah, and they struggle with their jump shots. Like okay, like there's still a place for you,
right?
But realistically, like when we talk to coaches and stuff like that, it's like how low can you shoot it?
Yeah, it's got to be tight before.
like you have to be able to shoot or become a capable shooter, like down the road. Otherwise, it's just like, okay, what are we doing here? You can't be a liability,
right? Yeah, I wasn't gonna make the argument that someone that can't shoot, pass, or dribble should,
you know,
give a shot. But
you can't be. Otherwise, how are you playing?
Yeah,
how are you gonna get on the court? Right.
So last kind of topic here: NBA Finals. Game 3 is tonight. Yeah, Game 3 is tonight.
Game 3 is tonight? I think so. I believe so.
I think so.
Yeah. Tomorrow?
The finals?
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna put this out tomorrow. But so how? What's your evaluation of the finals? What are your thoughts on the finals?
Man.
Are you wanting Chris Paul to win, or you want Giannis to win?
No, I want Giannis to win, man.
Really?
I'm a Giannis guy. I like Giannis.
Nigerian, right?
He's Nigerian, so yeah. So there's already that love there.
Yeah, Greek, Nigerian.
I like his journey.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. Now, he could have took the easy way out and left Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm. That is important.
That is important.
Yeah.
But he stayed.
Yeah.
Now, Do I think they would have beat Brooklyn anyways if they're all healthy? No. But it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I think the Suns are the more well-rounded team. I think they're more consistent.
Right.
From shooting, playmaking, defending. Yeah. And I think their coaching is way better as well. Yeah. So I think the Suns probably take the series. And then I don't know, like, Giannis came off a 42-point, 14-rebound game or whatever it is. Like, and it's crazy. He almost just, like, damn near tore his ACL or whatever it was just like a week and a half ago, which is kind of nuts, right? I don't, unless Middleton just catches fire, which he's capable of. I don't see how they do it. I think the leadership of Chris Paul, he's just super steady. You know what I mean? Like, he's the point guard, as everyone says, right? And then Devin Booker is a killer.
Cheering for Chris Paul to get that first ring out of there. I think it's like a love or hate thing with a lot of people.
Of course. Where are you? People don't like the antics. He's a flopper. Yeah. He's a flopper. Yeah. Right? But he's a smart guy. Right. He knows how to play the game. He's been around. He's 36. Yeah. Right? He's been around. He's he knows the game in and out. Yeah. So there's no one that prepares better. There's no one that runs their team better. Like, he's just that guy. So
yeah. I heard so many different things about leaguers' perceptions of Chris Paul because flopper, annoying, but apparently he's been getting everybody paid when it comes to his role as like the president of the Players Association. He's done like
it's a tough responsibility to do those two things at once.
You kind of want an asshole to be in that position.
No, I hear that. No, it's tough, man, to do that, to lead the Players Association and do that full time is very tough. It's a testament to him and the work he's put in. So no, shout out to Chris Paul.
Yeah, I actually do have one more prep level question for you, because another thing, I think I was trying to get it earlier but I just forgot, but another consideration guys are going to have is being the man on my team or going to maybe a more established program where I'm kind of a role player. How would you make that evaluation? Because I'll give you a second, because for my approximation of it, there's a lot of value to going to an established program in that the facilities, the coaching pedigree there, the connections that the coaches have. I feel like maybe the NBA kind of washed over it for people.
But then it's how much does your game expand? Yeah. Because you don't have the leeway to do certain things you would on having your own team, right? But I do agree with you, though. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, being with like a good program and in a good environment that develops people, like being somewhere that develops you, I think is the most important thing.
Because you're going to have games on the schedule regardless. Yeah. Like maybe you're not going to be.
And then for the people, like what you just said about having your own team and doing your own thing, realistically, it's only the 1 or 2%, like down the road at the next level, who have that leeway and can do that. Like not everyone is LeBron James. Exactly. You know what I mean? You got to learn how to play in a system. You got to learn how to play in a role or have a certain role. So I do agree with that sentiment for sure.
Well, Efe, I think we're going to put a bow in it there. Dude, I love this place. I love the playground. I love this NPH studios here.
It's 3.0. There's more to come.
There's going to be a lot of basketball here, too.
There's a lot of basketball rep circuit coming up all summer, man. Yeah. We're out here playing on Burlington.
What event are you most excited to see this summer? Is there anything going on?
Man, everything, man. Yeah. From here, Dane and Finch. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to get out to everywhere, to be honest, and see who's who. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Yeah. You'll see myself in the gyms. You'll see my guy Joe over there in the gyms. Yeah. And we'll catch you in the gyms. You know, everybody's gonna be out here, man.
I gotta get Jaden Finch to invite me out, man. I'm still waiting. DM's open, but
DM is open, man. DM is open.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Also, Andrew Latham was in here today, helping out with the cameras. You're not gonna see him, but he was here. Anyways,
shout out.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
All right, see you guys. Thanks.